Welcome to Brawlhalla Underworld, a fan-made serial audio drama produced by Baron Dipitous, inspired by the video game Brawlhalla by Blue Mammoth Games, as well as original setting and character concepts by Akiko-sama. Episode 5, A Chip in the Wall.
Gangsters, fangsters, and furry-stroking skellies. Knock me your lobes.
I'll have your head, Caspian!
You speak as if I cared, old dry bones. In any case, I've been asked, and I've admittedly reluctantly accepted, to provide a few words of welcome to all of you, and a few more words of introduction for our gracious host. You might know of him as Das Vampire, Wampiers, or Upiri, but I have the privilege of calling him the lofty title of Gramps. Friends in the family, I present to you your host, the Vampire King Volkov of Tataia.
Thank you everyone, and thank you, my boy, though we may need to have a little chat about the blunt nature of your welcome speeches. Regardless, it is good to see you all here again. Welcome to Cedar of the Corsairs. Greetings to Wall of Raincloud. Salutations to Dusk of the Fangwilds. Good evening to Petra of the Dark Hearts. And, of course, the man himself, Azoth Vraxx of the Zactarian Empire. I am most pleased to welcome you and yours into my humble home once again. Finally, Orion of the Enigmatics, as well as Hattori and Jiro of the Yakuza, are welcome as always. Thank you for your attendance this evening. We all live under the same roof, as it were. We all belong to the family that is the Valhallan Underworld. Rising from more troubled and turbulent times, tonight we celebrate 50 years of peace among our own blood. Those turf wars of the past are long behind us, and we look forward to a brilliant, unified future. In recognition of this long period of peace in the Underworld, it seems only fitting to announce a moment of alliance among the two largest factions in the family. I speak, of course, of unprecedented cooperation between the Batavian and Zactarian empires. Lord Vraxx, if you would be so kind as to join me here on the stage.
With pleasure. Yes! You all know what's up! Keep it coming for your great lord!
Relax, Vraxx.
That's Lord Vraxx to you, and get your filthy billions off me!
Very well. Delicious friends and beloved family, Lord Vraxx and I have seen fit to coordinate our efforts and combine our resources to ensure the acquisition and protection of a precious artifact from within the Valhallan archives itself. Even now, I have a servant on the way to fetch this artifact from the most secure location in my manor. The artifact has now become the property of the Zactarian Empire, but circumstances have required the use of Batavian resources for its protection. And there is my servant's queue. You may come in and present the artifact.
Volkov.
Onyx? What is the meaning of this?
Something is amiss. The scythe of Horus has been taken by your second guest.
What's going on, Volkov? Where is the site?
I'll handle this. Second guest? What are you on about? Who else could have entered that room tonight under your watch?
Forgive me, circumstances led me to assume...
Stop pontificating and tell us who took the site! Now!
Of course, sir. The intruder's name is Sabika Price.
Tequila who?
Ladies and gentlemen, Please accept my profound apologies for cutting this moment short, and allow me to beg your pardon while I sort out this little affair. Please, enjoy tonight's festivities. A new round of refreshment will be provided presently. Vraxx.
Lord Vraxx.
Don't sass me. You had the gall to lie to me about your confidence in my entrusting Onyx with the sight.
I have done nothing of the sort, Bat! You're the one who lost it!
It was taken by one of your own subordinates, you imbecile. Explain that, if you please.
Oh, so now I'm the one to blame, eh?
Don't tell me you do not keep track of your own empire.
Again, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Quite obviously. I speak of Speaker Price. You're a dim-witted, cyclopean autocrat.
I've never heard of that name before in my life! You lying leech!
Don't tick me off, Vraxx. We could all hear the names as they were announced, and it was made abundantly clear that Speaker Price was a constabulary correspondent of Nye, who, if my memory serves, is under the jurisdiction of your empire. Furthermore, she was wearing one of your detestable dog tags.
They're pins! You're freeloading free! But what's all this about Nye having a contact to law enforcement?
You seem surprised.
I am surprised! This is the first time I've heard anything like this!
Sounds like there are a few holes in your sovereignty, Vraxx. It would be a shame if someone were to take advantage of the sudden vulnerabilities.
Don't tell me what to do! I'll get to the bottom of this at once! Azoth, get over here! Stop bothering the shit with your stuffy tabby and call for Maraza!
Oh, come on, boss. Address Standard with some respect, will you?
I'll say who does the respecting around here! Hattori, this doesn't concern you, so leave!
If you insist. I think Dander wants to return to your comfy skeletal embrace anyway.
Finally.
We last spoke 10 minutes ago. Not sure why this secretive rendezvous was necessary.
It's completely necessary, and it's urgent.
Then let's get this over with. You said you had a proposition?
Only if I can trust you to keep it between us.
Don't you?
Now's not the time to be cute with me.
It never is, Petra.
And don't you forget it.
I'm becoming less convinced of your proposition's urgency by the second.
Just shut up, knife ears, and listen to me.
My knife ears are yours at present.
Good. Now listen. I want to climb the syndicate ladder. Ugh. How did you know that?
You wear your ambitions on your sleeve.
Oh, and you don't?
You've got me there. However, there's one crucial difference between you and I.
And what, pray tell, might that be?
I am capable of that rare virtue known as patience.
Patience is just an idiot's way of admitting their—
Pathetic, complacent, resigned.
Ugh.
To each their own, I suppose. So, what could a rabble-rouser like yourself want with a dullard like me?
Because, long ears, as much as I hate to admit it, I can't move up in the underworld alone. I have the will, the ambition, even the charisma.
You keep telling yourself that.
Shut up, you! In order to get any higher, I'd have to get over that huge metaphorical wall of power and authority.
Despite their differences and foibles, the empires are, indeed, aptly named.
But you saw just moments ago, right? They've become vulnerable.
If you're referring to the bickering between Volkov and Vraxx, I hope for your sake you have better proof than that of this vulnerability you speak of. The two of them have been begrudging partners for decades. I've been around the block long enough to know how this works. The status quo won't change once everything settles down within the week. Maybe a month if it's really that bad.
You see, this is the problem with you patient people, especially elves and dwarves and gods. You're resigned to let things play out and you just let it happen. You have all this power and for what? To twiddle your thumbs? No, not this time. Tonight, you will hear what I have to say, and I say we can be the walls those pompous idiots have to climb over.
You certainly are eager, and I admire that enough to want to hear more. But first, you'll need to convince me of a few things.
Ugh. Fine. Let's get your questions over with.
And I'd appreciate not being ridiculed for my caution, Petra. Thank you. Now, assuming that you'll be proposing a plan to combine our forces, I first need to know this. Why me? You seem more than capable of handling this yourself, as well as several of the more ferocious characters in the underworld. You have also made clear your disdain for the measured, calculated way I run my own affairs. Why not approach Val or Sidra for help?
Well, first of all, neither of them are as high up the ranks as you are.
Why should that matter? You and the Dark Hearts are higher still than all three of us.
But Val and Sidra have no ambition. Sidra is more than happy to stay where she is, the worst of the best, because she knows the competition is less fierce down there. Plus, her businesses are more publicly visible than most others from the underworld, and she likes it that way. As for Val, well, she tends to remain aloof of criminal politics. Like Sidra, she is content in her own element. The life she leads is familiar to her since before she even came to Valhalla. But you, Dusk, and I, we have our differences, yes. But we are both anxious to rise above the rest. You can't deny that, can you?
No, I cannot. You know well my desires to extend my influence in Valhalla, and further into other realms.
And you see, we have a chance now to chip away the empires that prevent our progress. Are you with me?
A few more questions, if you please, Miss Petra.
More? Ugh. Fine. Ask away. And it's Petra to you, no Miss.
Certainly, even with our two gangs combined, we won't have the numbers we need to take on the two empires.
Then we recruit others to our cause.
Do you really think Val and Sidra would be willing to let us borrow their help?
No, not them. I'm talking about the independent agents scattered throughout the city.
That does make a lot of sense. Neither Volkov nor Vraxx would ever expect such widespread cooperation among the well-known figures of the city. Who did you have in mind? Perhaps I could use my connections to recruit a few others.
I have 6 in mind right now, in addition to the 3 in the Yakuza. Here is a list.
It won't be hard to convince him. She would certainly be willing, for the right price. Not sure about those two. Or him, for that matter. She has direct connections with the police force, though I could see ways to encourage her involvement. Yakuza's willingness would depend on their availability and the potential benefits for them. In addition to all of these, I have a couple more in mind. I'll need to coerce Ragnar a bit for one of them, but the other, not sure. He might need something extra to be convinced to come out of retirement.
Excellent. We need all the help we can get. It's been too long since we've had a proper turf war, and with the already shaky trust between the empires eroding even further, now's the perfect time to set things in motion. So, for the last time, are you in?
Well, now that I see how this could work, you can rely on my cooperation and partnership, Petra. This certainly isn't my first war in Valhalla, but at least this time, I am much more in control of the result. Shall we shake on it?
Oh, certainly.
With your normal hand, please. I don't want that corruption touching me. Thank you.
My dark heart hand can easily behave. Most of the time. Whatever. We have a deal, Dusk.
Excellent. I'll reach out to my people and look forward to our continued correspondence.
Count on it.
Oh, and Petra.
What now?
I'm rather impressed by your uncharacteristically feminine outfit this evening. That dress suits you very well. You almost look like a proper lady tonight.
Flattery gets you nowhere with me. What I wear is none of your business.
Oh, looking to impress someone tonight, are you?
Get out of my sight, now!
Very well, very well. Have a good evening, Miss Petra.
Don't miss me, knife ears!
I never do.
And that brings us to today. 1 week after I was asked by Sergeant Sentinel to retrieve that stupid scythe, I was paid a lofty sum to investigate the crime scene, interrogate a friend, party all night under a shiny new persona, and meet a mysterious stranger I can't stop thinking about. There's something so very familiar about him, but of course I couldn't see his face. Maybe it was his voice, his particular way of speaking, his refreshful, gentle gazy perhaps? I'll probably never know. We may be in the same city, but our work will always keep us apart, and as long as there is nothing keeping me tied to the underworld, I will have to be content to allow this Orion to remain a handsome, intriguing mystery. Oh my goodness, you startled me! Is it you again, Sentinel? What artifact did you lose this time?
Please, let us in. It concerns an urgent matter.
Let us in? Another urgent matter? Is it really so important that Odin sent more than one of... you?
Good evening, Sabik. May we have a moment of thy time?
That concludes the 5th episode of Brawlhalla Underworld, a fan-made serial audio drama produced by Baron Dipitous, inspired by the video game Brawlhalla by Blue Mammoth Games, as well as original setting and character concepts by Akiko-sama, which were used for this project with Akiko's consent. It starred Schwarpy as Caspian, A Knight's Gambit as Azoth, Tilty as Volkov, Insanity as Hope as Vraxx, Tesriel as Onyx, Tiger Gamer as Hattori, Buchticky as Petra, Doe as Dusk, Mirage BHH as Agent Mirage, and Maya as Orion. The script for this season was written by Baron Dipitous, with special thanks to Captain Moneybags and Pat Hyena for assistance with writing and characterizations, to Davon971 for providing story assistance and for his role as art lead, and to Stefanofro and darthMIMI for assistance with audio cleanup and editing. The artwork for this episode was a joint effort by Buchticky, Cyanpetra, Pat Hyena, Smokeystitched, Tataia Furquim, and Tolsquish. The music playing during this episode's intro was the Twilight Grove VVI discussion arranged by Labruski. The music playing during these credits was composed by Cat Budinator. For more information about material produced for this project, check out the project link in the description below. To conclude, please enjoy this teaser for the next episode.
I know the consequences, Baraza. I understand everything I care for and work for is at stake. I think that's clear enough evidence that I'm taking this as seriously as you two are.
Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time in the Valhallan Underworld.